So, the big question is this. How are pitching coaches like us, who aren't lazy and driven by our ego, who actually care about getting every player better, how do we coach in a way that lets us break free from the status quo, see things differently, and impact each one of our players for the better, all while changing the landscape of this game? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Andy Powers, and welcome to the Pitching Secrets podcast.
What's up, guys? I'm glad that you're here with me today. Man, this is going to be an exciting show. I always enjoyed doing these. I always really enjoy this, and I know many of you guys get a lot out of it, because you make comments, you send me messages and all that, and I appreciate all of that. Today's going to be one of those days where in this episode I'm really excited about what it is, because I'm not only going to hopefully provide some value to you and some contents and things that we're going to be able to do to help you, but at the same time I'm going to be announcing a new venture, a new program that we have that's made specifically for you. So this whole thing is kind of give you a quick little backstory. I myself, that you may or may not know, but the Texas Pitching Institute that we've merged, we've partnered with DBAT, who is the number one batting cage training facility in the franchise in the world, and so we have this big new facility and whatnot, and so I'm always looking to try to do things to kind of raise the bar for myself, that I can then in turn, deliver a better experience to people here, and then also for you and everybody else. So from a business standpoint, I recently had stumbled across basically it was a business challenge, if you will, and it was 30 days, and every day you went through a new module, a new mission through the challenge, and at the end of the challenge you had, something viable, something tangible that you could put out into the market for your clients, for people to purchase, to experience, to be a part of. And the format of it, the way that it was done, was just really intriguing to me. And so I went through it, and I thought that, this is something that, at the end of the day, at the end of this challenge, you have this big picture, this what you're striving for, but the way that it was broken out over 30 days made it a lot more digestible, if you will. Okay, it's like kind of the old aspect, how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. So that's what this kind of was about too. And then I started thinking about, of course, how can this possibly relate to the baseball world? And so as I started getting into it, I realized that this could easily fit into the baseball world, and especially with what I really am passionate about, which is pitching and pitching coaches, working with pitching coaches, and the playbooks. So the idea was basically that I wanted to create I wanted to model that model of the challenge, if you will, and I wanted to create one of my own, one that you guys could go through yourself, and that at the end of that you would have a completed playbook, or probably multiple playbooks, quite honestly, as we go through that. So mine's not 30 days, it's 21 days, and I'm calling it the One Playbook Away challenge. And so in this challenge, it's super cool, man. So here's kind of how this thing looks, is that when first of all, as I'm recording this, the next challenge, or the first challenge, if you will, is going to start on July 27th, okay? Now, it's possible that by the time you hear this episode, or when you do hear this episode, July 27th is already passed, and that's okay. There's more coming, all right? We're going to have this is something that we're going to do and doing and launching continuously. But the first one's going to start July 27th, and that's a Monday morning, and that's when the first training module opens up. Now, as all part of this, with the challenge, is the very first thing is that you're going to get a daily video mission training every single day that I've recorded, that I've shot. So every morning you're going to get a new email from me. It's going to have a link to the latest training. You go in there and you can watch that training and go along with it. And then I'm going to send you a workbook that you're going to use every day of the challenge to fill out while you're going through each of these videos. So you're going to follow along with me, fill in the workbooks. That's going to become your template for your playbooks. I hope that makes sense. By the way, even if you were to register on July 26th, you're not going to get your physical playbook in time, but that's okay because the digital version of that playbook is already inside the member area for the challenge. So don't worry about it. You're still going to have all of the things that you need. Now, on top of that, we're going to have a private community through Facebook that we're going to be able to, so guys can check in, they can log in, they can talk about what they're taking away from the event, what they're getting out of it, what their questions to be asked, all that stuff. I'm going to be active in that private community as well, answering questions. And then once a week right now, we're also going to jump on a live Zoom call where I'll be there and you guys can jump on. And we'll be able to go deeper into whatever was going on, whatever we've covered so far in the challenge, any questions that you have, any of those things that you want to go through, whatever it is, we're going to be able to do that. And of course, that'll be recorded and then that'll be posted into the private Facebook community as well, so that we're going to have all that kind of interaction that you can get. And then from on top of that, there's some additional things I'm going to throw in as just some bonuses. So on top of the workbook that you're going to get some bonuses of a private event that I put together a while back of some of the top pitching coaches in the country came together. I call it Pitching Coach Secrets. I'm going to throw that in as part of the challenge. You're going to get what I call the Ultimate Baseball Fundraiser Playbook. So what the story was on this is that I'm sure that if you're listening to this, you're probably part of a program or an organization or something where funding is always lacking. It's kind of a very restricted budget, if you will. There's always more wants and desires and needs than there is money to go along with it. And so that was no different for me when I was doing it, especially when I was coaching in high school. And so I wanted to try to come up with something different than having a car wash or having a cookie sale or trying to, sit at the street corners and selling bottles of water on a hot day. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. And I didn't want my kids to go through any of that stuff. So I was trying to figure out some other way where I could do it where the earning potential was virtually unlimited. It was very minimal effort. The kids didn't have to be, awkwardly put or forced in front of the general public and asking for money. And because I don't like that, and I'm sure they don't like that either. And I wanted to do everything to where instead of running, multiple fundraisers throughout the year, maybe I could just do one big one, and that would be it. So I came up with one, and it was incredible. I think for myself as the head coach, I spent a total of about 5 hours working on the entire event, and that was in pieces, so an accumulation of about 5 hours. I think the kids in the program all spent about 2 hours working on the event. They didn't talk to a single person. They got to enjoy all of the benefits of the actual fundraising event, and we raised about $23,500. Now, I tell you that not to impress you, not to tell you that that's how much you're going to make. I don't know how much you're going to make, and I want to make that very clear. But the point is that on average, each one of our players or brought in about $500 for the program on that one fundraiser, and that one fundraiser covered pretty much all the things that we needed that year for that program, and we ran this multiple times. Well, I've put that together now in a video training package, and I call it the Ultimate Baseball Fundraiser Playbook. And in there, I walk you step by step of exactly how to do this and what it is that you're doing, as well as providing you with the templates of all of the different things that you need to make the event successful, okay? I know I'm probably still sounding a little vague on that, but that's because mystery is always a good thing, right? So anyways, we're going to throw that in for free. That's going to be part of this challenge as well. And then finally, I'm going to also send you, along with your workbook, I'm going to send you a copy of one of my books, the Pain-Free Pitcher book. Because if you're a pitching coach, there's no doubt about it, you're dealing with guys who, even if they're not dealing with arm pain now, it's probably just a matter of time before at least a little soreness, discomfort, possibly pain starts creeping in, and you need to be that first line of defense. You need to be that first part of the equation to be able to solve that. And when you can, not only do you become even more of a trusted source with your players, but you become highly regarded and respected in your field. The parents are going to love you. You're going to be able to do all those things. You're going to be a hero in your kids' eyes when you're the one that's going to be able to solve that pain. They're going to start coming to you instead of looking for somebody else outside of you to help you with that. And that's ultimately what we want, right? So that is what you're going to get. So in the One Playbook Away challenge, it's 21 days. So 21 days of video trainings, taking you step by step, piece by piece through this. At the end of this, you're going to have multiple playbooks, quite honestly, in place for you. You're going to have live online coaching sessions with me. We're going to have the unlimited access to the Facebook page, the private Facebook community. You're going to have the One Playbook Away mission workbook to use. You're going to have Pitching Coach Secrets program. You're going to have the Ultimate Baseball Fundraiser playbook, and you're going to have the Pain-Free Pitcher book. You're going to have all of this stuff. Guys, I was adding all of this up. This is a program. This is a package that's like almost $2,000 if I pieced it out separately. Okay, and this challenge is only going to cost $100. Okay, and honestly, I'm not even sure if I would do that. But what I found is that, and I'm the same way, and I'm sure you're no different if you actually even thought about it. But if you get something completely for free, a lot of times you don't use it. You just disregard it. If you invest a little bit in it, then that allows you that accountability that you need to say, well, I've got something in it. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a part of it. So $100, that's it. You're going to get about $2,000 worth of training for just $100. It's like so cool. We've had some coaches go through it already, through kind of to try this out as a beta test, and man, it worked fantastic, and we got great feedback on it. Did some things to make some quick adjustments that we think are going to make it even better. But I would expect that over time, as more and more people go through this, and I continue to get feedback and input from guys and ideas, that this whole challenge will continue to evolve even more, and it's going to continue to get even better and better. But not to say that this isn't any good, okay? It is, all right? This is really something I'm excited about. So if this is something that you're going to be looking for too, then I really would hope and encourage you to look into it. You can go to www.oneplaybookaway.com, and that's going to be where we want to go to get everything started. And you can learn more about the program. You can see on the page everything that it has to offer. But we're talking about things that you may be sitting there going, okay, well, what kind of things are we covering in this challenge? So some of the things that we're going to cover are developing your game plan, creating your daily routine, in-game strategies. One of my favorite charts called the game flow chart. We're going to talk about practice drills. We're going to talk about different ways to attack hitters. We're talking about developing pitches. We're talking about bullpens, how to run them. Okay, we're going to talk about managing your pitching rotations. We're going to talk about pain. We're going to talk about mechanics or movement patterns. You're going to talk about developing pitchers. You're going to talk about different throwing drills, strength and conditioning for pitchers. You're going to talk about recovery and myth busters. What I call myth busters are things that are kind of myths in our game that we still hold on to very closely in this game, but have kind of proven to be wrong over time. So that and a whole bunch more. Each one of those things that I just said to you, that's a whole training each particular day. And all I said, you just work through your workbook, and you follow along with your videos, and at the end of each day, you're going to have one more piece of your playbooks as a pitching coach put together. And by the time you're done with this whole 21-day challenge, you're going to have everything that you need. And I'm super, super excited for you to be a part of it. I hope that you are. So anyways, I hope that provides you, like I said at the beginning of this, some value, a little content of what we're doing. I know it's this one's kind of a promotion, but it's something I'm really excited about, and I hope that you're excited about it. I hope that you're anxious to get started and be one of the next people as part of this challenge, to challenge yourself, man, because everybody that's listening to this is going to be at a different stage, right? Some of you may be a brand new pitching coach. You've never dealt with them before, and you're looking for something like, I need some structure, I need some guidance, I need that playbook to sit there and go, how do I do this? And this challenge is going to be perfect for you. Or you might be a pitching coach who's been doing it for a while, but you feel like it's getting stagnant. You're looking for new ways to do things, or new things to implement into what you're doing, and this challenge is going to fit perfectly for you. And then there's going to be other pitching coaches who are dominating what they do. They're doing a fantastic job, and they're ready for the next game, their next jump in possibly the level that they're coaching at. Maybe they're looking for a bigger challenge. And this is going to add so many things to their tool belt. So no matter where it is for you and where you are as the pitching coach, this challenge is going to meet you where you need it to meet you. And that's the other thing that I'm so excited about. And because it's delivered to you over 21 days, it's delivered to you in little bite-sized pieces, if you will, along with your workbook to fill out, it's really going to be difficult on your part not to start to really absorb all of this content. This is stuff, by the way, guys, that not only has it been proven over and over again personally by myself where I've implemented all of this stuff, but I've taught it to other coaches who have gone on and implemented it in their programs, who have seen dramatic improvements in what they do. And then I've taught it to, and then I've had it taught to me by guys who were some of the best in the game that I've been fortunate enough to be around, and I've taken pieces of it from each of those guys, of the things they've shared. That's how I've created my philosophy, and I'm sure you're no different. You've got people that you've learned from that you really like. If you go through this challenge, you're going to get introduced to new things. You're going to be able to mold and kind of, shape all of that into your philosophy, and that's the coolest part about this. But everything that we're going to talk about, none of it is theory. All of it has been proven over and over again on the field, not just by me, but by other coaches, including some coaches who had zero experience ever with a pitcher. They weren't even a pitcher themselves, let alone ever coached pitchers, but they had that role put on them to become the pitching coach, and they basically called me and said, "How do you do this?" And I went through this. We spent a few days together and went through this, and they saw a dramatic turnaround. This is at the college level, by the way, guys. So this works at all levels. It doesn't whether you're a youth coach or a high school coach or in college. This works, I'm telling you, for everybody, because the principles of these playbooks, they're tried and true. And so this is a great footing and a foundation. I'm sure there are things in here that you can take and then add to if you wanted to, and that's fine. There's some of these things like throwing drills. I don't cover every throwing drill because that would be impossible. It would take days and days, and I still wouldn't get them all, okay? But what we give you is what we go through is some of those throwing drills that we know are working, and we explain them, we go into depth. And if you can sit there and create variations and stuff, that's awesome. I would love to hear about that stuff. Share it with the group in the private Facebook page. That's the kind of stuff that we want. We want to build a community. I want to be a part of a movement where we're sitting here saying we are no longer going to be the kind of the redheaded stepchild, if you will, of the baseball. We're not of baseball games. We are going to take a prominent role, and we're not only going to change the way that this game is coached, but we're going to change the kids that we're coaching, and we're going to do it for the better, because this game is demanding of it. And pitching has always kind of been that third rail. It's what nobody really ever wants to touch, and it's time that changes. It's time that we step up and we do things in a different way, and that's what I am hopeful that you are interested in doing too as well. Okay, so go to oneplaybookaway.com. Okay, that's www.oneplaybookaway.com, and then learn more about it. And I hope to see you on July 27th when we have our first one, and if not, I'll see you in another one coming down the road. But either way, get in on this challenge. Just $100, man. I mean, a nice dinner with your wife is probably going to cost you that, and you're going to get a lot out of this. Okay, so anyways, thanks for being here with me today, and I look forward to seeing you soon. All right, take care.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Pitching Secrets podcast. If you want to learn more secrets to enhancing your pitching coach abilities and add to your playbooks, all while breaking free from the current status quo of today's coaching, then I want you to join me in my movement to becoming a pitching boss. To start, I'd like to give you a free copy of my best-selling book called Bullpen Secrets. Now, I already bought a copy of the book for you. I just need to know where you want me to ship it. Go to pitchingboss.com/bullpens and let me know where to ship your free copy today.